Hi and welcome to the channel. Now today's video is about these Dynaco A-35 speakers, and a pair of speakers I bought recently a local pickup. Do like the local pickups because you do get some bargains. You go around, people, people do put things up at a starting bid low thinking they're going to attract some people. But if it's something that only one person's after, then that's it, just get the one bid, which happens quite a lot, which has happened to me 3 times on the trot recently. The pair of Kef that I bought, them Kef Concords, which I got a reasonable price I think, but in the end were a little bit disappointing. The little pair of dual speakers, I got them little chitchy things with the socks in, if you remember, I got for £4.99 starting bid again. The Concord was the starting bid, and again on here with these Dynaco it's the starting bid, and the starting bid here was £25, and as you can see I managed to win it for £25 as well. I did go a bit higher than that, not much higher, I did go up higher than that, but I didn't really know a lot about them, so I'm always wary with the bids. Not this is something I really know a lot about, I've heard of, never even heard of the make here at all, which is a little bit embarrassing maybe. Didn't know a lot about them at all, so I thought I'd put in a low bid. If I get them, they may be alright, they may not. It's a video for the channels and another pair of speakers to go through. I've gone through quite a lot of speakers now, probably been doing it about 3 years now I think, something like that, so I've been quite a few pairs of speakers I've gone through. They kind of come in and out, and I keep an odd pair that I think sounds okay. So anyway, when I picked them up, I'll just have a little look at the advert there. If you can see in the bottom of the advert, and you do see this quite a lot. These speakers sound fantastic. These speakers are this, a really good sound, a really vintage sound, all that kind of stuff. But obviously not going to put down these sound rubbish. You want to buy them still, kind of thing. So I don't really take a lot of notice of that. But on the bottom there, he did turn around and say that if he didn't have a load of other pairs of speakers, he would have kept these. But anyway, I went round and picked them up off the bloke. He seemed maybe a little bit disappointed he only got £25, but he did tell me he did pay a lot more for them. And in fact, he previously sold them to some geezer in America for £79. And of course the shipping to America is going to be quite expensive. He's going to send them in separate boxes. So I'm guessing that bloke's probably paid another £100 on top for postage, something like that. So that bloke was willing to pay £179, shall we say. Just thought I'd mention that for the price wise, really, because for £79 they were cheap then, I think, especially after I've got them home and listened to them now. But anyway, he stuck to his gun, sold me for £25, because you do get some people that will pull out. It's happened to me quite a few times. I bought something, I won something for 99p a little while ago actually, and the bloke just cancelled the thing. So it's just something to be wary of. If you are starting at low bids, be prepared that that person, you may only get one person interested, and that's the bid you're going to get. So it's something to maybe a bit careful of. But I know it does attract people, because you think, well, it's just low bid, I'll bid on that, but if it's only you're going to win it, kind of thing. Okay, so I've got them home. Don't like to say, didn't know a lot about these. We'll take them apart in a minute and show you inside, etc., with normal photographs and that. But apparently they've done 4 in the Ranger. These come out in about 1973, 74, something like that, in Denmark, made in Denmark, but they did kind of travel around the world. Got over to America and places like that, and I think in America they sold for about $120, something like that, back in 1973. And in the UK, I think they're about 60 quid, 50 to 60 pounds. So if you do it in today's calculation, probably £500 to £600, something like that, they would have sold for back then. So these are a bookshelf, they're quite a large bookshelf. But like I say, they did do a few others in the range. They've done the A-10, the A-25s, which a lot of people call the baby of this one. Then this one, the A-35, then the bigger A50s. So they've done a little bit of a range. I did do a brief look at them before I kind of put my bid in, and I see they've got reasonable favoured write-ups. I only skip over it very, very quickly, didn't go into detail, because I'm looking at other speakers as well, and obviously I'm looking at the write-ups of them speakers as well. But I do take a chance. If there's no write-ups, I think I'll go low. If I win it, well, I can find out myself what they sound like. But anyway, got them home and set them up in my normal positioning setups, etc. But before we go into that, I'm just going to show you what's inside. So we take the grid off first. I'll just show you the front actually. I should just pull off, hopefully. I did undo it a little bit. It's only kind of like velcroed on in places. Hopefully you can see that, little bits of velcro. Needs a new front, needs cabinets, needs sanding down, all that kind of stuff, which I will do, and I'm going to do a much better job hopefully than I did with them Concords. Kind of half-heartedly done that, but it didn't come out too bad, but I put a bit more effort into this, I think. So there you go. At the top here, well, yeah, this is the cabinet. It's quite a well made cabinet, really. It's quite well made. It's got a piece of wood here, a brace going across, a chamber going across inside. You'll see that. So if we have a little look inside, I took the main driver out there. The main driver is a 10-inch Sears and that is a 25 TV EN. That's the model number of that Sears 10-inch driver there. So I took that out, and as you can see inside to the crossover, very basic crossover there of just, what's it got? It's got a couple of capacitors and I think about 6 resistors, and them resistors are right up in steps. You've got a little control at the back where you can flick through and get different positions where you can alter the higher end frequencies, get a little bit more out of it by just turning that knob at the back. I'll spin them around in a minute and show you that knob. But yeah, plenty of padding in here in the bottom chamber, plenty of padding, and that's the bottom chamber. So if we go up to the top here where the tweeter is, and this tweeter is a 1.5 inch Sears tweeter again, 87H tweeter this is, and there you can see the tweeter. But if you look inside, I don't think I actually showed you pictures, but inside there's nothing in there, it's just a chamber. There's no padding or anything inside there. All the padding and wadding, fiberglass, is down the bottom here where this main driver is. So yeah, if I just spin it round, as you can see, I'll show you a picture as well. There's a picture there. It's got a 5-position knob here where we can just alter the top end, the crossover frequency. Well, actually, yeah, just puts a 2.2 ohm resistor in steps, each step. So you can turn it down, and you've got 5 steps. I just leave it on normal. This is the position I like it in, and obviously you can just add a little bit more top end to it, just changing that crossover frequency just a little bit to you know, give the sound maybe you desire kind of thing. So if I spin it back round, like I say, it's a nice solid box. I know a lot of people tap on these boxes now. I'm going to have to give it a nice sand down. Some of them have got some scratches on here and there, but I'm going to give it a proper sand down this time. I'm not going to muck about. But yeah, it's got 6 screws holding this driver in, and it's got 4 holding this driver in. But I did see some pictures on the internet where there's some other screws here, holes here. So I'm going to put, once I took it all out and cleaned it all down and put it all back together, I'm going to make sure I put plenty of screws in there to give it a tight, because this is a sealed unit, this, so we want everything nice and tight, so no airs escaping anywhere, anything like that. So I will do that. But anyway, let's get on to how it sounded. Okay, before the sound, I usually miss something out and I have here something fairly important. If you do look around there, you may find a little bit of information here and there about this speaker, and in a few places they rate this at 98 dB, and to me it's not 98 dB because I'm quite used to what speakers are, what kind of volume I'm going to get out of the speakers, depending where I've got the amplifier turned to. And I would probably rate this, I think it's probably a misprint in a few places, at 88 dB. I think that's probably more like where the sensitivity of this speaker is. Okay, on to the sound. Normal setup, a few different places around the house and a few different amplifiers, etc. Bit of vinyl, CDs, all that kind of stuff. Okay, where should we start? Shall we start with the bass? Let's start with the bass. Like I say, it's got a nice 10-inch woofer here, driver, whatever you want to call it, and this gives a good amount of detail and bass. It maybe don't go quite as low as you think it is, but don't forget this is a sealed cabinet. But for a sealed cabinet, I've had a few other sealed cabinet speakers with the bass driver in, and they've not been, they're not expanded enough, kind of thing. They seem, you know, constrained in that box, but this doesn't. This, it goes reasonably low, I think. You know, I mean, it's got, you know, it's got quite a bit of punch to it. It's got a nicely defined bass. It's got plenty of definition in the bass there. It's quite pleasing, the bass, open sounded bass. You know, so it's got the room. It seems like it's got more room than it has in this speaker. Like, it just seems it's a bigger unit than it is the bass in this speaker. It seems to, it delivers that room, going around the kit and that and the bass string and all that kind of stuff. It just feels like it's bigger than what it is, kind of thing. If, you know, in other speakers it seems quite constrained. In here it's got plenty of room, it's got freedom. Like, even though it's a small unit, it's a sealed unit, it's quite surprising, but it's got that freedom. It just, you know, just for what it is, you just don't think it's got that. You're surprised by it, let's put it that way. You're surprised by the amount of freedom it's actually got in the bass. So you know, the bass was really nice. It's got a nice, it's just a lovely bass. It's not coloured at all, got no coloration to it, anything like that, which is great. So we go on to the mids, the vocals, and that the vocals sounded excellent, sounded really nice, the vocals, you know, these really sound nice, the vocals, the mids, the saxophone, the piano, the trumpet, all that kind of stuff sounded really nice, you know what I mean, no coloration or anything like that to it. It sounded really, really nice, really pleasant, really nice, you know, really enjoyable to listen to. And if we go to the top end here, it's got a crisp top end. It's just a tad rolled off, I would have said, just a tad. I know you've got that adjustment at the back. I like to keep it in the middle because you start flicking it up a few, kind of interfere a little bit with the overall sound, just a tad. Preferred the middle setting, the normal setting, midway, just a tad rolled off. Just wanted a little bit more, just a little bit more on the top end, just a tad more sparkle at the top end. But other than that, it had a reasonable amount of detail. Detail was quite nice in the top end. Overall, the old detail of this speaker is quite nice. It's a nice, clear sounding speaker. Now, image was good. Image is good. It went beyond the speaker as well. It's quite a nice image there. Had a reasonable amount of 3D and airiness to it. It's got a very open kind of sound, this speaker. This speaker here is like the band is in the room with you. It really is. You know, I mean, some of the tracks of it I was playing, it just felt the band was sitting in front of me in the room. You know, it kind of not pronounced into the room, kind of level with the speakers, but in the room. It was that good. Like, you know what I mean? It was really, really good on some tracks. I really, really enjoyed it. Now, just for, I'm going to be picky here, just a little bit on the downfall side of this. It's a little bit lacking in attack kind of thing, a little bit lacking in dynamics, just a little bit, not a lot, but I'm being picky. I really am being picky here, I think. Some people call this a polite, mellow speaker, a very polite, mellow, easy kind of sounding speaker, and you could kind of agree with it a little bit, just a little bit maybe, depending what amp you use. Now, on the what amp was it? It was the Audiolabs 8000A. It was kind of a bit of a laid back sound kind of thing. You know what I mean? I think you want something, as this is maybe edging towards a laid back kind of sounding speaker, you wouldn't want to put a laid back sounding amp with it. It just, the amp just seems to just give it the oomph. It didn't give it, it just didn't, it wasn't bad, you know what I mean? It wasn't bad, it's still quite nice, but just to get a little bit more out of it, a little bit more musical out of it. Something like the, at recent I just bought, it was the Sansui AU222, just had that drive, had that punch, had that kick to it, just really brought the speakers alive, like, you know what I mean? They're still okay with the 8000A, but just adding something with a little bit more, you know, guts to it kind of thing, even though the other one is rated a lot more powerful, but that just gives it more drive, more kick, you know what I mean? Give it the gist it needed into the music kind of thing, and it sounded really, really good, it really did. So yeah, overall this is quite a clean sounding speaker, quite a well defined. Now you would, you know, if you're going to be picky, you always want a bit more, so you know, if you could pay a little bit more and get a bit more, you'd be unbelievably satisfied with this speaker. But as it is, I'll pay 25 quid for it. I kind of nicked it really. I went round and robbed the bloke, if you put it that way. But these go on eBay when you see them for probably between about £200, something like that. And for £200, it's a good speaker. You know, I recommend it. You know, if you pay 200, this is the best speaker I've got in the house. The best speaker I've had so far is this speaker here. When I say that, there's other, you know, what were they? I forgot what they were now. Them audio ones I bought, the bronze, just B2. They may be a bit more of an all-round speaker, but just didn't have the freedom, as much freedom as this. You know what I mean? This had more freedom. On some tracks, this may just sound a little bit laid back, like I say, just a little bit, but give it that little bit of punch. But overall, this is the best speaker I've bought since I've done the channel. This is without doubt the best speaker I've bought since I've had the channel. May just lack a little bit of detail in this, compared with some of the others, just a tad of detail, but the overall sound when you put it all overall, I can't wait to get it off this bench, put it back on its stand and start listening to some more music. I have it on every day since I bought this speaker. I haven't turned it off because it's just, the sound's really, really good. It really is, you know what I mean? Obviously there's better speakers, if you know, you're going to get better second hand, but you could be, see, the trouble is, what I will say is that maybe you could be a bit unlucky buying this speaker. First of all, it may sound crazy. Why would you be unlucky buying this if you reckon it's the best one you got? A bit like gambling. If we go to gambling and you've never gambled in your life and you suddenly put a £20 bet, say £25 I paid for these speakers, a bet on, and it won, you think that was easy. Then you had another bet and it won, you think this is quite easy. This is a bit of a danger here maybe with these speakers. The first pair you buy, which could be these, and you think they sound good, but it's bound to be better out there. So you're going to forever chasing that better sounding speaker. This kind of price range, you know, obviously if you pay £1,000 or something, you're going to get a much better speaker. That's you know, a no-brainer kind of thing. But in this kind of price bracket on this channel, something like this, what I'm doing, going around buying stuff between £0 and £200, that's kind of the bracket I've been working with all through the channel. I could get this for 25 and think, well, if I pay £100 or £150 for a speaker, I'm going to get something much better than this. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. You know what I mean? It's going to be very, very, very hard. I could be doing it for another 3 years before I come across another one. That's for certain. So what I'm going to say is that if you bought this for £200 or less, you've got a good speaker there. I mean, this is obviously like depending on your pocket. It's a budget channel. This is like without a 2 point of fine on it for people that ain't got a lot of money to spend, want to get something nice and cheap. Because I was quite surprised, you talk to people and that, and some of the wages some of the people are picking up these days. I've got a few friends in that on silly amounts of money. So for £200, it's nothing. It's a steal. Just go and get it. Don't even think about it. Just buy it. You know what I mean? You film them kind of crazy money. I've heard a few people on recently. But for this kind of channel, it's quite a big investment. £200 for a lot of people. But I recommend it definitely. If you had to pay £200, I think you've got a good speaker for £200 here, definitely. So that's it. Really, really pleased with it. And I can't remember the bloke's name, but I must say thank you to him. He lives local, not too far down the road from me, letting me buy these off of him for the price they went for. And if I'd have known, obviously I would have paid more, but obviously I bought these a bit blindfolded. And now it's got me really, really interested in the A-25, which a lot of people like. I've been looking at a load of forums, a lot of discussions and that on there, because I've been really, really interested. And it's a bit of like, some people like the A-25s, and some people like the A-35s. It's a bit of like up and down between the two. So I'll be interested to see what the A-25s actually sound like. So I'm hoping at some stage I'll be able to get hold of a pair of them. I'm not going to pay crazy money because I don't want to pay £200 or £300 repair them, and I think they sound not as good as these, because then I'll be a bit disappointed. If they sounded better, then I won't be disappointed, that's for certain. It'd be money well invested, well invested. And also the A50s, them big units at the back there, them A50s, they look interesting, didn't they, as well? So yeah. Company I never heard of, plucked it out of the hat here, really, a bit of a lucky dip, looking around on eBay buying stuff, and I've come up trumps this time without a doubt. So really pleased with these, as you've probably gathered, and that's it. I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.